Skalpel can be intimidating at first, but once you get this strategy down, he's going to be no problem. What's up? My name is Pastor Gaines. I am a Souls-like and Elden Ring content creator, and today I'm going to show you how to beat Skalpel in First Berserker Khazan. There are a few things you need to know about the Skalpel fight. The first and foremost of those is the fact that he is going to have two phases. The first phase is the entire first health bar, followed by a fake mission complete. Then he will crawl into his coffin and then come out of his coffin with an entirely new moveset. This moveset can seem a little bit psychotic, but the nice thing about phase 2 is he is constantly losing health, so in theory you can just run away from him entirely, dodging some ranged attacks, waiting for his health to dwindle. And I'm not gonna lie, I did a little bit of that in phase 2. The other thing I want to encourage you to do in this fight is use your reflection tree. The reflection tree is going to make this fight incredibly easy, especially in the very first phase, because the majority of his attacks are going to be reflectable and all sword attacks. So let's go ahead and jump right into the first phase. Now his first sword combo is going to be a 3-part combo that you can perfect guard at the end. The first 2 swipes are going to be horizontal swipes in front of him, followed by a third, much more staggered swipe that you can perfect guard. You definitely want to reflect and perfect guard as much as possible in this fight, as it does whittle his stamina bar down incredibly fast. He does also try to jump slash you with a vertical strike, but as you can see here, I reflected, causing more damage to him and allowing me to pour out a little bit more damage. I will also say that when you reflect his attacks, it does leave him open for huge windows of damage where he just sits there and takes your damage. He doesn't do anything back. As you can see here, I'm just slashing away over and over and over again at him, and he's just not moving. You get an incredibly long window of time to pour out some damage, which is why I suggested the reflections in the first place. He will also do 2 very staggered horizontal slashes across his body. You can brink guard these, and then also he will back up and lunge towards you with his coffin open. This coffin can grab you and put you inside, and then he will stand on top of the coffin and stab down, causing about 1/4 of your health to be taken, but you can just dodge to the right and miss this attack completely. This attack will happen up to 3 times, but you can just dodge to the right when you hear that sound cue of the coffin jumping towards you, and then you can pour out a little bit more damage. Skalpel is also going to have a thrusting attack that you can perfect guard. Once you do, he will be open to a ton more damage, and he telegraphs this by yelling and then jumping up and slashing forward. But once again, as you stun him this way, you're gonna see that he just has a huge window of time where you can just sit there and keep putting forth damage, allowing you to whittle away his health really fast. Now this next combo is one of his biggest combos, which is a 6-part combo followed by a move that you can perfect guard. Just get the parry timings down on this. It's just back and forth slashes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then perfect guard. The 5th one is going to be a little bit more staggered than the others, so you do need to be careful of that one. Now he will also hoist his coffin off of his back and put it in front of him, and a bunch of red blood will come out and try to grab you or try to just do some damage to you. You can dodge this by just going to the right, and you should be able to get some more damage off after your dodge. However, you do need to watch out for the follow-up coffin hit that can do a lot of damage. After you dodge initially from the blood coming at you, dodge one more time so the coffin misses you. Now the next move you're going to look out for is a variation of his 2 horizontal slash attack. It's going to be followed though by a 3rd attack, which is going to be a coffin hoisted over his shoulder, smashing down onto the ground. You can deflect the 2 attacks prior the same way you always have, and then for the coffin you can either deflect it or you can just dodge to the right and it will miss you completely. Now those are all the attacks that I saw in phase 1, and phase 2 is where things really start getting interesting. He's going to be dragged into his coffin, and then he will come out of his coffin in a fury, doing a ton of different attacks. However, the majority of the attacks that he's going to do are just variations of what we've already seen. Now the first attack he's always going to start out with is going to be a sword slam onto the ground. He will do this 3 times, and blood and plague is going to shoot out in front of him. You want to dodge the second his sword hits the ground, and if you can do that 3 times, he will move on to the next portion of his moveset. He also has an option to jump across the arena and slash horizontally with his sword. I always seem to get hit by this, but you can brink guard it and also dodge it if you choose to do that. One thing I did discover in phase 2 is the closer you stand to him, the less psychotic and crazy his moveset can be, and the less he actually uses all of his AoE craziness. So I definitely recommend baiting out his sword attacks so this fight will be a little bit easier for you. Now this is his biggest combo that he does, where he's going to suck in all the blood around him, and then he will start start doing an 8 or 9 part combo with staggered moves in between. My answer to this was just to run away. Every single time I tried to counter or brink guard any of these attacks, I always was getting hit, and it was just a huge mess. If you run away here, not only is he still going to take damage, but you won't take any damage, so it is a win-win. Now here he is going to have a new combo. It's going to be a sword combo that is 3 horizontal slashes followed by a vertical slash, which leaves him open to a little bit of damage, and you can break guard all of these attacks. Now this next combo he has is going to deal with his coffin. He's going to hover up in the air and he's going to shoot blood out onto the ground that can hit you. Then he's going to jump over to you and land on you, which can also do damage. And then if you sit there and try and heal, there is a third, more staggered move that can hit you, doing a lot of damage as well. My solution here is just to hold guard, and that way the first 2 moves are not going to do a ton of damage to you, and then the third move you can just dodge backwards twice, and those hands coming out of the ground will not hit you at all. It also should be noted that any sword combination that he did in phase 1, he can also do in phase 2, which is what you've just seen. Now something nice in phase 2 that you also saw in phase 1 is anytime there's a burst attack where you can counterattack, you are going to still have that very large window of opportunity to pour out damage to him, where he just kind of sits there and takes it. I would save all your spirit points for this opportunity and just unload as much damage on him as you can. Now what you're going to see here is a move from phase 1, but he also executes it in phase 2, where he can grab you with his coffin, and then he will stand on top of it and thrust his sword into the coffin. This does cause a lot of damage, but because I was in phantom form, it actually negated some of the damage that I would have taken. But you definitely want to dodge to the right as soon as he starts to grab you with this coffin, because that will allow him to miss you. He will then cycle back through the moves that he has already done. As you can see, he's doing a move from the beginning of phase 2 where he shoots the blood trail at you, and you can just dodge to the right as soon as his sword hits the ground. But at this point, I start kind of just running away from the boss. His health is already going down slowly, and at this point I think I was on hour 3 of fighting him, so I just figured I would hang back and let the plague that he had do its job. But that's pretty much going to be it for every single move you're going to see in the Skalpel fight. Phase 2 can be absolutely brutal, and it did take me by surprise, but I found phase 1 to be a lot of fun getting off these counterattacks and parries. It just seemed to be a really well done fight. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for clicking on the video. I appreciate it a ton. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification on the way out. And until next time, stay safe, enjoy the game, and I'll see you in the next one.